listening to Diminishing Returns, the podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and reboots. I'm Chris Scott, and across from me, it's the one taste of ginger that I always like. It's Mr. Alan Johnson.
How do pod people?
We are back in the basement, because this is one of our non-franchise episodes where we talk about whatever the fuck we want, you know, in our in-betweeny episodes. If you're a regular listener, you will know that we traditionally start with the news, where Alan has diligently researched news about sequels and that, and I have not.
So, as we sit here, Chris, the Cannes Film Festival is underway, and Sylvester Stallone has promised there will be a Rambo 5 teaser, Rambo The Last Blood.
Oh.
The fifth film that's going to be rounding out the Rambo story arc. Stallone's now 72 years old.
Yeah, it's just going to be him going to the hospital, getting checkups, and, you know, doing his crossword.
It's not the only Stallone-related news from Cannes. There's also news that there's going to be a Cliffhanger reboot, and that they are casting for a female lead, and Jason Momoa is going to have a cameo, a crucial cameo.
Oh, I thought they were going to, like, they're going to gender swap it, so Jason Momoa is like the lassie from Northern Exposure that was in Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger, a film that mostly referenced by myself when I'm doing fake porno names, and I call it Cliffbanger. I remember Cliffhanger being really good.
Yeah, a great John Lithgow performance.
Yep, I watched it in the cinema. I mean, my mum went to see it
Okay.
When I was a wee boy, and I remember really enjoying it because it was a fun action film.
Yeah, I love how the tagline is so giant on the poster, and it just says hang on, and then inside the O for on there's a wee photo of Stallone hanging on. It's like a motivational poster you would put up in your office.
Hang in there, baby. Yeah. This is a good action flick with Stallone in it, with was it Janine something? That last from Northern Exposure, who I think might be some right-wing nut now. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure somebody from Northern Exposure's turned into a right-wing nut.
Oh.
And I think it might be her. Citation Needed in that. Just double check that quote, because I might have just dreamt it.
Right. Joel Fleischman and what was her name? O'Connell. He kept calling her O'Connell.
Aye, that's right. Once again, guys, you know, we're just bringing you the important news about a TV show from about 1991. No one remembers. Well done, guys.
It was like the mainstream Twin Peaks.
I remember it being great.
Good fun,
but,
yeah.
you know, that was in 1991 or whatever, so fuck it. Maybe it's terrible.
I suppose importantly, how do you feel about there being a fifth Rambo film?
Do you not know how many Rambo films I've seen?
I suspect it is 0.
Correctamundo.
Yeah.
So I have no feelings on this whatsoever. I hear I should watch the first one.
The first one is brilliant. The second one you would love.
I'm into it. We should maybe think about doing Rambo at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not watching all 4 of them in the one for the one episode.
No. So excited about a gender swap Cliffhanger?
Yeah, I mean, I guess is just the concept of stuff happening on a cliff. Is that patented? That's like trademarked. You could have just written another film, and not have to pay the rights for Cliffhanger. But I guess maybe like if you say Cliffhanger remake, that will interest me rather than random film on a cliff.
Yeah. But why not the Iger sanction or vertical limit or 127 hours? Is that a mountain quiz?
Yeah, I mean that's about an action film, sure. The much belated sequel to 48 Hours. Yeah. So I have a sort of fondness for that film.
Yeah.
Because obviously I saw it when I was a wee guy with my dear sainted mother, and I remember it being quite good.
Yeah.
So this might be a really good acid test. If people get upset about this being gender swapped, then they can't pretend it's anything else other than mad sexism, because it's not like this is a beloved, talked about, like, no, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's been like
you're
no,
stealing my cliffhanger from me. This is my cliffhanger.
You know, if you look at the Cliffhanger extended universe, it's ridiculous for there to be a woman being John Cliffhanger, which is the hero of the series. So yeah, sure, whatever, man. It's all good.
So no gender swap here. There's a Charlie's Angels reboot on the way with Elizabeth Banks directing and also appearing as one of 3 Bosleys.
It's a ratio of 1 Bosley to 1 angel now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's kind of 3 versions of Bosley. One's Patrick Stewart, one's Elizabeth Banks, and the other one is Jimon Honsu.
Oh, yeah.
The angels are Kirsten Stewart, Naomi Scott, who's in the Aladdin live action film, and Ella Balinski.
All I know is that I will almost certainly have an Elizabeth Bank to it.
Sorry, I didn't realise that we were rhyming what our intentions now.
Of all people, Alan, you should know that I was always 100% going to start talking about fucking wanking or something. Like, this fact that it surprised you, you're adorable, son. I never saw a TV show because I'm not that old. I assume you watched it on your 40th birthday. But
I had the Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yeah. That must have been a long time ago, pal. So I never really silly TV show. But I enjoyed the first Charlie's Angels film.
Yes.
That was very funny.
Yes.
I seem to remember the second one being okay.
No.
No?
The first one is a bit of frothy fun, but the second one is McG turned up to 11. It is incomprehensible and all over the shop. But I hadn't realised that there'd been the original TV series. They tried to bring that back in the 1980s. That failed, and then they brought it back for the movie in 2003 sequel. Then in 2011, there was a television version with Minka Kelly from Friday Night Lights.
Oh, okay.
And there's been various international versions, and now they're bringing it back again. I didn't realise that the Charlie's Angels cinematic universe was quite so large.
Yeah, I mean, the English one will be Charles's Angels. All that matters to me is that films involve hot people. Like, if there's anyone that looks like Alan Johnson in a film, that person better be playing, I don't know, some sort of troll, some sort of sex pest. But other than that, I need hot people that look like me. Right? You know, people who are just physically attractive specimens like me, Chris Scott.
Speaking of physically attractive specimens, Mark Wahlberg has joined the cast for the new animated film Scoob, which will see Scooby-Doo and Mystery Inc. teaming up with various other people from the Hanna-Barbera universe to take down Dick Dastardly, who will be voiced by Jason Isaacs.
Wow, that is, so it's the Hanna-Barbera universe, extended universe.
Apparently so.
Here's the thing, Mystery Inc. That is an incorporated, business. Like, they're doing the books. There's like accountancy involved. There's invoices. Like, because you never see money change hands.
No.
This is a front for something. Drugs probably, knowing Shaggy. Yeah. Basically, I hope that this film Scoob does delve into the shell companies and things for Mystery Inc. Because Mystery Incorporated, I feel, I think there's, I'm just going to say it, Russian money behind this, man. Let's get Caroline Caldwell or whatever her name's on this. Get some investigative journalism. What's next?
The final story goes back to sprawling cinematic universes. David S. Goyer is going to write and produce a Hellraiser remake.
Goyer? I hardly knew.
Now, Hellraiser has had let's say a sporty cinematic journey. I know you will have little to no interest in the Hellraiser franchise.
I've seen the first one and I remember enjoying it immensely because it was super groovy and weird.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, there's another 5 of those. Nah, I'm fine.
Well, that's my question to you. Do you know how many Hellraiser films there are in the franchise?
I'm going to guess... Oh, I said another 5 there, so I'm just going to go with what my subconscious said. 6.
Okay, there are 10 Hellraiser movies. 10.
Fuck me.
The most recent one came out last year called Hellraiser Judgment, but there was one 2 Hellraisers ago, Hellraiser Revelations, which was shot in 2 weeks just to extend the rights that Miramax had. Nice. It was shown at one theatre.
Wow.
Which was a cast and crew screening that the public were allowed to attend.
Oh, that's beautiful work.
So
It's not the shadiest thing that Miramax have ever done recently, but maybe we can even do it for this podcast.
Which one do you think you'd like to see the most? Hellbound, Hell on Earth, Bloodline, Inferno, Hellseeker, Hellraiser, Deader, Hell World, Revelations, or Judgment?
All of those have had little to no thought put in their titles. Just like, they're either incredibly lazy or incredibly lame. And the lazy ones are also lame. It's all about like a world of pain. Even listening to those names, it made me feel like a Cenobite was attacking me. Is that what they're called?
That's what they're called.
A lot of hell has been raised. They should do a crossover with John Constantine. Just call it Hellraiser, Hellblazer. That'd be good. When I say it would be good, it wouldn't be. Let's be honest. So cool. That was all the news that's fit to print. Alan, thank you so much for your diligent research into the amount of terrible Hellraiser films that have been made. Well done. Some people research like important political trends. You, however, you're doing the right thing. It's important. We're back talking trailers. Our favourite thing.
Yeah.
Our favourite thing in the world. Let's be very clear. Alan's wife and children, he loves you, but yous are second. Second when it comes to his favourite things. Because that's trailers. That's right, I'm talking trailer talk. Bum, bum, bum. All right. What are we going to talk about first, Al?
A couple of years ago, The Last Jedi trailer dropped, and I didn't want to speak about it because I didn't want it spoiled for myself. But a recent screening...
then they went and spoiled it because they had like women and stuff in it, and it's fucking rubbish. And like Luke Skywalker isn't a fucking just and then also I'm a virgin. Fucking losers.
A recent screening of Avengers Endgame I saw on the big screen. Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, so it's the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, it's impossible for a Star Wars trailer to look bad because it's got Star Wars stuff in it, and Star Wars stuff is inherently cool.
Yeah.
Even like the prequels, bits of which were fucking brutal and terrible, the trailers always looked pretty good.
Pump a bit of John Williams over the name Star Wars, plop on a screen. It's going to generate some interest.
It's going to show the rise of Big Chris's cock.
So without digging like super deep into the nerd minutiae of this trailer, what are your thoughts about episode 9?
My worry is that like it looks cool, looks great, but even with like things like the title and all that, my big worry and some of the things in the trailer is that Abrams is going to just like undo all the good stuff that was in The Last Jedi and be like, hey guys, remember all the stuff you liked from Star Wars that we totally just ripped off and did again in The Force Awakens? We're doing that again. That's my worry. However, the trailer looked really cool and I got excited at all those bits I'm kind of talking about that maybe slightly worried me. So what I'm saying is the trailer looked cool. I'm just got this little thing in my back of my head. Don't walk back all the cool bits of The Last Jedi. Because of the backlash from the people that fucking slagged off The Last Jedi, there's the odd person that gave genuine actual criticisms, but most of it was like, oh my god, this is totally different from what I expected, and fucking hated it. I'm worried that they're going to course correct.
I mean, I totally see what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of stuff about how there's images in the trailer that are like fusing back together broken things as if, you know, he's going to fix what was broken.
And, you know, on the audio track, there's a lot of stuff being like, hey guys, remember the old stuff? So, you know.
I really hope, actually, that the makers have gone the other way and they've doubled down on the ground that was broken in Last Jedi. I really hope they have just gone, look, if you thought that last one wasn't for you, Star Wars and you can just be done. We're fine with that. Like, there's obviously a market for this. The money that Last Jedi took in the face of everybody spitting the dummy was insane. And I really hope that, they don't undo too much of it. I thought that trailer was amazing. The actual opening.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, it looks great.
Sequence with the
Daisy Ridley about to attack a fucking TIE fighter with a lightsaber.
With Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
Fucking be still my beating cock.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to see it. We're in. Even if this fucking trailer was just a picture of J.J. Abrams picking his nose, but they put the John Williams music under it and you heard that little of a lightsaber, we'd be like, I mean, that's probably going to be alright. So we're both in for this.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to have the sort of key cast from episode 7 together on like a mission, which we've not really had.
Hopefully to Endor.
Would they maybe be part of a caravan that was being particularly courageous?
Oh, that sounds. I mean, personally, I'm more of a Caravan of Love fan, but I hear what you're saying. Can we do a mashup of Caravan of Love, but it's all in Ewok voices? So instead of every woman, every man, it's just Chihuahua, but in tune. Can you do that for this episode?
No.
If this does not appear in this episode, I just want everyone to know that it's not a failure of my imagination. It's a failure of Alan's technical skills, and frankly, for shame. Should we maybe mention the younger viewers about the Ewoks spin-offs? Because maybe people don't know. Like, there was some like spin-off movies about the Ewoks.
Battle for Endor and Caravan of Courage, and then there was a Ewoks cartoon show.
Yeah.
We are the Ewoks. We are the spirits of the forest floor.
So we're in Star Wars. Star Wars is great. Everyone loves Star Wars, unless you're one of those bores who's like, I've never seen Star Wars and I think that makes me interesting. Doesn't make it interesting. It just makes you a cunt.
Never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
No, cool.
Never watched Star Wars.
There's loads of things. I've not done either. I've never loved. That make me interesting. Star Wars. We think it's going to be a big success, guys. What next?
Another beloved extended franchise that's gone through different iterations. The X-Men.
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
So there's like two kind of trailer things that I saw online.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right? One was like a traditional trailer. But one was, I think it was called something like Dark Phoenix Rising or something, right?
Okay.
And it was basically the X-Men saga, you know, it's for 20 years.
For 20 years, Sony's kept this out of the hands of Marvel Entertainment.
And it was like loads of like cuts of the earlier movies, you know, all of them leading up to this. So, you know, Days of Future Past and First Class, obviously. But even like showing the first X-Men movie and X2. And there was like loads of scenes like Wolverine and Patrick Stewart. And it was like, wow, they're not going to be in this new film.
No.
That's just like, great. Well done, guys. You're showing us things that we can't have. Brilliant.
Did they miss out clips from when they told this story before in X3 Last Stand?
That's what I was going to say. That's seemed to be the only film they weren't showing, because it's like, yeah, you've got a dearth of ideas that you're redoing the storyline from X3, which I think we can all agree is the masterpiece of all superhero films.
Oh, another Brett Ratner classic.
Average as fuck. But yeah, so they're going to do this Dark Phoenix storyline, and it's basically Jean Grey, who's played by that
Sophie
lassie
Turner.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
She gets hit with a purple bit of space stuff and goes all evil. That's basically it, guys. It's on the trailer. Frankly, the fact that these people have managed to make any other movie after X-Men Apocalypse, which was a shit show of unmitigated, like literally looked cheap as shit. It was so lame, such a wasted opportunity, and now they're doing it again. And also I've heard that they had to reshoot the ending.
Oh.
Because the guy says something like, oh, we're going to have the ending in space. I was like, that sounds cool.
Great, yep.
And there's like, but then there's going to be some action with like a train or a train crash, and we felt that would be more fitting with the X-Men universe. And I was like, yeah, a train crash. Yeah, you're right. That does sound like more like the sort of thing that you idiots would do.
Yeah.
It seemed nonsense. There's been reshoots. There's been, I really liked First Class, and I really liked Days of Future Past. There was a few problems in it, but like it had enough groovy, cool stuff that I was like, okay. And then Apocalypse was just a giant purple turd. You know what? I'll probably go and see it, but I'm not really in for it.
It's really weird that again we have a retelling of possibly the most famous and beloved X-Men story arc, and it looks to be mishandled again in the execution. So I have no interest in this.
As I say, just because I'm trying to see a whole bunch of movies this year to make it worth my while with my Cineworld card. By the way, Cineworld, get on fucking sponsoring this, by the way. You need to put some money into this shit. I think I've mentioned Cineworld almost every bonus episode this year. So fucking sponsors, you cunts. I mean, if you sponsors, I won't call you cunts. Maybe I will. I don't know. You can't own me. You can totally own me. Other cinema chains aren't available. So I might see this just because I'm going to see loads of shit. But, I'm not in for it. So fuck you, Dark Phoenix. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, another young woman who's made the rise from an innocent to an evildoer in Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Yeah, Maleficent to Mistress of Evil. Typical evil, having a bit in the side. That's, do you know what I mean? Like, does the wife of evil know about this? Because, listen, Maleficent, you're not happy. Look at those cheekbones. She's not eating, right?
No.
Like, those cheekbones, like, you're not happy. This is eating you inside. Maleficent, let me tell you need to love yourself before someone else can love you. And if you're just content to be somebody's bit in the side, and I get it's evil's mistress. Mistress of evil, that's like evil's bigger every day, but you're never going to find true happiness. You're always going to be empty inside. And I hope that one day, you find some other philosophical concept that you can just settle down with. Doesn't have to be good. Could be okay. Like I was the mistress of evil, but now I'm the wife of okay. And that's all right. That's all right, Maleficent. Just you be you. Don't get hit up. That's all I've got to say about this film, frankly, because I've not seen the first one, and it's just like some fucking bullshit.
It's not a long list of things I liked in this trailer. Michelle Pfeiffer, Citizen Wolfie Smith, Robert Lindsay is the king, apparently.
All right, I didn't see that.
Generic sort of like modern live action Disney trailer, and it's got like a shitty cover of Season of the Witch.
Oh yeah, halfway through I realised that's what they're doing, and I was like, oh, that's lame. Yeah, fuck them. It's not for me. Whatever.
First one took like over 700 million worldwide. But that's not enough for me to want to see it. Yeah. And certainly not enough for me to want to see this one. So will we float on down to the last trailer of Trailer Talk?
I mean, if that's the link you want to use, fair enough, Alan. But I mean, that's cool. This is, dear listener, this is sort of shit to put up with. He was so happy when he said that. His wee eyes lit up. Yeah, we're talking about it.
You'll float down.
Oh, fucking prick. Because also that quite scares me. It Chapter 2. Yeah, so, they're all grown up now.
Yeah.
The Losers Club, they're all adults.
Adult losers.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we know about that?
Yeah, exactly. I could kick fuck out a clown. I don't need 5 pals. They're fucking clowns. So who have we got? Who's the grown up dudes?
Well, you've James McAvoy as Big Bill. Jessica Chastain is the grown up Bev. Then we've got Bill Hader, Isaiah Mustafa, who was an Old Spice guy, which I guess is an American commercial that we don't have here. And James Ransom, who you might remember from Generation Kill and the second season of The Wire. He was Ziggy Zabotnik.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so the trailer, starts with Jessica Chastain coming into her old house.
For book readers, it's a really recognisable section from the book. Yeah.
She goes back to her old house. There's an old woman in there, and she's like, "Oh, come in your old house, no bother. Of course you can come in." Starts making her tea, but something seems a bit off. It's just, you're on edge, and it's true because old people are creepy. Just, it is. It's a fact. There's nothing no right. I have to look at one every episode I'm recording. I'm sitting here right now. I'm getting the same feeling that Jessica Chastain has of like, I want to get the fuck out of here. This is creeping me out. But then surprisingly, it's actually the evil cloud or some shit.
Yeah.
So which is frankly not the case in this recording studio. At least it better not be. Don't you evil cloud on me.
It's funny because you and I both really mixed feelings about It Chapter 1.
Bits were great, bits were fucking terrible.
And this sequence here has a lot of what we liked in the movie, which is there's sinister things happening in the background or just at the edge of a frame, right? Something's a little off kilter, and go from that sequence with Bev and the old lady, which is like kind of Hansel and Gretel style thing, jump to like a bunch of little like snippets of you know, here's the grown up losers, here they see themselves as kids, you know, hints at things from the book like Paul Bunyan statue and the Chinese restaurant meet up that they all have. So I said at the time when we were speaking about it that it was mostly a miss for me, but I was really going to reserve my full judgment until I'd seen the whole thing. The cast are great. I really hope they have sorted issues that I had with the first one, that like rely more on more practical effects instead of really horrible, shitty looking CGI effects. But the first one made a shitload of money.
Fuck ton of dough.
So what do I know? Apparently not much.
I mean, I could have told you that, but that's fine. If you needed it, if you needed the success of the film It Chapter 1 to tell you that, then hey, as long as you get there in the end, pal.
I know couldn't fill a clown's red nose. But Stephen King, author of It, has seen an early cut of the film and described it on Twitter as terrific.
And it also has a financial stake in this. So, this thing that could make me even more money. Oh yeah, it was great, guys. Well, he seems like a trusted source. That's the thing about film criticism. You got to trust the source. Stephen King, I know you fucking love that fucking
I love
geezer.
that old septuagenarian. Yeah. He's one of the good guys.
Cool. Did we talk about his wife's donation?
I don't believe we did, no.
So the headline was something like Stephen King's wife donates $1 million to some charity or whatever, right? And he was like, she's got a name. Where did she get that $1 million from?
She's a novelist.
A successful novelist? Fucking, that's from the joint account, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, the point is that I know who Stephen King is. I don't know who this broad is, right? And if she can show me that $1 million is from her own account, from her own fucking book sales, then fine. Right? And can you check on her book sales? Because if it's not, then actually, fair enough. Citation needed. Come on.
Really cautious about it, but
I'll probably see it. So I'm going to say a cautious thumbs up, which is how I like my thumbs up. Like, don't just jam it in, just a little bit up, like, hey.
Yeah, I'm halfway up the runway myself on this one.
Cool. So, for the trailers, we're in 100% for Star Wars, to the most unsurprising fucking thing ever. Dark Phoenix, we're out for. Maleficent 2, we're out for. And It Chapter 2, cautious in, because the bits that worked were pretty good.
Yep.
And we're hoping it's more of that rather than the bits that genuinely made me think this might be the worst film I've ever seen. That's how much that swung. So, that was our trailer talk. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, you fucking put a wee accent in there, Johnson. Somebody try to fucking jazz this up a little bit. Old fucking Miles Davis over there. Our themes are like the Ramones, not like jazz, okay? They're perfect and they don't need changed. Alright, we've got a new section.
Oh.
Papa's got a brand new mailbag. We get people tweeting us, emailing us, stuff like that. And usually it's just like, man, you sound really hot, DTF question mark. And other times it's just like, are you doing this film? And that's it. And that's great. We love that. We love all of those.
We do.
But we had an email from a young man, a Mr. Danny Stobo.
Yeah.
From the context of his email, I believe he said he was originally from Scotland, but now lives in New Zealand.
New Zealand,
Yeah. Why'd you have to run? Why'd you have to run, Danny? We're all just thinking you've done something unspeakable in this country and had to go to New Zealand to live amongst the hobbits or something. But he emailed us and said it was nice to hear some voices from home.
Oh, yeah.
The thick
old,
Scottish
the
brogue.
old brogue from the homestead. I've come down for some cotton. We're gonna weave on the spinnet.
Wee bit hill and glen was like his freedom. There's been a murder. Scottish stuff.
Wally? Your Wally, your Wally, everybody's Wally.
That way for a chicken. Basically, I'm glad that we could give you this little taste of home.
Yep.
If you like, we can maybe shout some sectarian bile at you. Something we're very good at in Glasgow. I mean, just tell us which side you're on, Danny, and we'll shout the other. We'll shout that you're a certain type of bastard. That's how things work in Scotland. It was very kind. Thank you. It does mean a lot when people whenever people get in touch, it's wonderful, and it was nice to receive that email. So thank you. I believe he did have some sort of recommendation.
Yes, interesting suggestion to look at a couple of Alex Cox films in Repo Man and Repo Girl. I'm a massive fan of the Emilio Estevez, Harry Dean Stanton classic Repo Man, and I'm really fascinated by what Alex Cox is doing now with this kind of micro budget stuff he's involved with. So yeah, a really interesting suggestion.
Yeah, we're not fucking doing that, Danny. Go fuck yourself. I don't do what you tell me. All right. Hey, you fucking butter us up with all this nice stuff about Scotland, and all you want to do is get your film suggestion in. Other people just fucking be like, hey guys, you ever thought about doing this? You tried to fucking play us. Mr. Daniel Stobo, if that is your real name, you're not going to make a fool out of me. Alright, I've been burned before. So yeah, genuinely thanks for being in touch. If you would also like to get some abuse from your heroes, which we obviously are, please do get in touch. Genuinely do appreciate it. Email us at diminishingpod@gmail.com. On Twitter, you can at us at Diminishing Pod. Facebook, we are Diminishing Returns Podcast. You can tag us and stuff at Diminishing Returns Pod. On Instagram, we are Diminishing Pod. We also have a blog at diminishingpod.wordpress.com. And on YouTube, if you search for some stuff, you can listen to the episodes on YouTube. Have a watch. And of course, as ever, you are listening to this podcast. You're smarter and cooler than your friends, but you want to let some people into this club. So please, if you rate and reviews wherever you get your podcasts, that helps new people find the show. But the biggest thing that will help is if you find a friend. Just find a friend, because most of you are probably loners. But find a friend that's into cool films, guys talking shit, and sexual swear words, frankly, because we're foul-mouthed. Introduce them to the show. Send them an episode that you liked, or you think they would be into. We had, I think, maybe our biggest month last month for downloads.
Yeah.
So we want to keep growing the show. So I know that people are telling their friends to listen. So send them links to the direct show. If people prefer to stream their podcasts on Spotify, we are also on Spotify, as well as all your major podcatcher apps. So thank you. So this is it's the end of the episode. What do we do at the end of every episode? Jerk off on a biscuit. But before that, what do we do, Alan?
We like to tell people what to watch.
Cool. Alan, what would you recommend to our wonderful listeners?
I have a fascination with the Salem witch trials, so I watched two very different takes on the subject. I watched The Crucible.
Is that good?
It is brilliant, and
I know the play's meant to be great.
I really like the movie.
Is it good if you don't like snooker? Come on, that's a great joke, guys.
For those of you that know about sporting arenas,
which I'm sure is a big crossover with our nerdy fucking film podcast.
I really like The Crucible. Performances are great. The Arthur Miller subtext of this is how McCarthyism happens, all of that. It's really great. And so it makes a really nice companion piece for a recent film called Assassination Nation, which is so achingly cool. It sort of was released.
I like that it rhymes.
It was sort of released and got a bit of festival buzz, but never really caught with an audience. But a kind of witch hunt in the social media age.
Okay. So we can take from this. I think we can all take from this that Alan is pro witches, which is poor, man. Like, witches, they're evil. Do you like a warlock? Do you like the film Warlock with Julian Sands?
I love the film Warlock. Oh my word.
Do you like goblins? Do you like the band Goblin?
I love the band Goblin.
Okay, see, this all comes together. Alan is a force for evil.
So that's me, Chris. A little witchy double bill. some hubble bubble, not so much the toil and trouble. So, what about yourself?
Man, what won't I recommend? So, since we've last spoke
Yes.
on the podcast, I pay a kind of subscription thing where I pay like £19 a month. I get to see as many films as I want on this deal, and it works out that as long as I see over the year 2 films a month, then I've made my money back, and anything over that is pure profit. Right? I'm just like sewing a bit like Scrooge McDuck. And last year I only saw 13 films, which the more math-minded of you will be able to work out is less than 2 films a month. And it's the first time in my cinema-going career that I've had this unlimited card where I didn't make my nut. I didn't pay the VIG. Do you know what I mean? So I've been raging about this. So I've been trying to see as many films as I can. And I think in the space of about 18 days, I saw 6 films at the cinema. Let's fucking count them out and we'll see if I want to recommend any of them. I saw Captain Marvel. I saw Us. Loved Us. If Get Out is Jordan Peele's first album that's an instant classic. It's like the Arcade Fire's funeral, right? Us is his neon Bible, right? It's wild, swings for the fences. I'm not sure if all of it works, but the bits that work are so good, and the fact that they've tried so many fucking weird shit and gone really kind of bold means that it is an absolute future cult classic. Oh, I saw Pet Sematary, the remake of Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
I saw the remake of Pet Sematary not long after I'd done the episode about Pet Sematary, which means that at the end of March, I think I'd seen 0 Pet Sematary films. And within a couple of weeks, I'd seen 3. And frankly, the worst one is the new one. It's not good. It's terrible. It's dull. Don't see it. Yeah, sometimes not remaking things is better. What else did I see? Marvel's Avengers Endgame. I recommend you go and see it, guys. It's it's one of these like little projects that deserve our support. I saw the Hellboy remake. Don't see that. The director just fucked off for 2 weeks in the middle of it, and frankly, it shows. Yeah, it's just there's like a lot of bits you go, this could be a good idea, and then nothing really gets done with it. It's a real missed opportunity. Oh, Shazam! I saw Shazam. Shazam was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Right, out of all those, Shazam's fun, worth watching. Us, brilliant, culty, weird, super ambitious. Love it. Want to talk to everyone about it, but don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, Marvel's Endgame. Went to see it at a midnight showing. Great fun. People were cheering, whooping, and then people were crying at one point, and I thought this is why the Chinese will win in any future wars, because, their kids aren't fucking crying at films, but we, a weak people, cried. But yeah, it was really good fun. So listen, I think I'm back on track. I think I'm at least 2 a month since the start of the year, and I'm going to see John Wick 3 tomorrow at the time of recording, in the past when you hear this. So fucking yeah, I am cinema, bitch. Fucking I am cinema, hear me roar. Wicket kind of ended up having a bit of a problem actually, and every day abusing drugs, and uppers to get him up in the morning, and downers to get him down, end up sucking a lot of Ewok dick just to make money. Oh god, Wicket, sad state of affairs. He was a beautiful Ewok, but not now. Takes a toll.
Ravaged.
Knees are fucked because he's always dropping his knees to suck Ewok cock for money. Sucking on that glass stick, the crack cocaine. It's really as a scourge. There's a conspiracy theory that the rebellion put crack cocaine in the Ewok villages. Huge if true, guys. Huge if true. Wicket. We hope you get back on your feet. There's people out there to help you, man. If you know an Ewok who's fallen foul of drugs and maybe turned to prostitution, please send them to Ewok help centres. There's one on every moon.
Treetop.
There's one on every moon next to a Death Star. It's a beautiful thing. That was a public service announcement for Ewoks by Diminishing Returns podcast.